Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Haslab Cobra. But that's not the Cobra. That's not the Haslab Rattler. That's the O-ring vintage Rattler. But in this box is a Rattler, along with 3 figures, and let's not forget the 3 patches. But anyway, big thanks and shout out to my buddy Greg. He said, you know what, feel free to pick up mine, and when you get yours in, just give me that one, because he doesn't do reviews or anything, so I definitely do appreciate it. But we're going to take a look at this. We're not going to go the figures. I do the figures individually, but we're going to take a look at this, put it all together, show you what's in the box, and then also compare it to the original O-ring Rattler, which is right up there. And again, it was a beautiful A-10 to begin with, and I mentioned it before. I live by a military base. The A-10s are housed there, so I see them flying around all the time. So this thing here is, it's special to me, just in general. As a kid, you get to watch them fly around, not to mention having them. But anyway, let's get into this. I don't think we need to look at this mug anymore. I want to get this thing open. I've waited, I think, just over a year or somewhere around a year to get it. Finally got it in hand, so I want to get this thing open and do a little bit of playing with it. So anyway, let's get to this. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like what I'm giving you, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Haslab. Alright, so for anyone that is wondering, it comes in this wonderful box here. Once you open it up, it has these guards right here that you're going to open up. Or not open up, but throw away. Then you open it up here. There's another box. And then there is your actual Rattler box. As you can see, they do a real good job of trying to make sure as little damage can be done as possible. Okay, so first, looking at the top of it here, we have the 3 patches that we're going to get within this. And looking at it here, we got the Fearsome Fang, Tank Smashers. You got the Cobra Flight right here, which is the same as right there. And then we have the Cobra Airborne, the 84th Squadron, the Fly Swatters. You can see the Airborne logo right there. Cobra right here. We have multiple Rattlers. They're dropping bombs on a facility. You can see how wonderful it looks. Again, there's your big Gatling gun, which is the size of a VW Volkswagen, I believe. All right. On this side, we have our, I can't think of the name, not the graphics, the blueprints of what everything is. All right, so you can read through everything. You can see what everything is. It's going to show you everything that you're going to get, different blast effects, your different missiles and bombs. Here's the way it looks. And then you're going to have a whole bunch of other things right through here in 5 different languages. So once again, they're trying to save money by giving you 5L, but again, there's so much right there. And then once again, we have the 3 different types of pilots that are in the Air Force. And as we rotate it, again, this desk, when I decided to do it for reviews, not meant for something this large, so I'm going to do my best. So here we have the Rattler dropping more bombs, 2 of them. You can see the 2 different jet streams. Again, wonderful artwork. That is for sure. I'm going to bring this back out because I don't know how much space I have. And then we just have some more bombs. You can see the skull and the A-bomb look right there. And then we can see the Rattler right there again. Does a wonderful job, and the way that it's actually supposed to look is if you look at it here, if you decided you wanted to open it up, it's all one big display going all the way to this side. So you'd be able to create, if you just want to design it, maybe this is something they should actually create a poster for. I'm sure people would absolutely love it. So anyway, I think it's time to open this thing up because you guys don't want to watch this too much. All right, so just like with the other ones here, this opens up. But with this one, we got the nice Cobra symbol right there. They got these little tabs Take the tabs. This is where your figures are going to be. I don't remember how this is broken down. So the first thing though, we'll take the figures out. And as you can see, it's actually going to get in my way. And a lot of you might be wondering, like, why would you do something like this? Well, this is what people have come to really like, how I do stuff there. So there's your fearsome fangs, your Cobra Air Force. And then when we open this up, what you have in here is, this is a great video for people that want to be an inbox collector and never open their stuff, right? So here's our patches and our stickers. Here are some more stickers. Looks like this is all your bombs, your blast effects, and your 3 different figures, which once again, I will do individual reviews on every single figure as they are individually numbered. And there are people that are going to want to order these separate, right? So if you're one of those people that want to order it separate, well, this is going to be your chance to see exactly what each figure is like. All right. So within this one here, God, this stuff is so big. There is no easy way to do something like this. All right. And you know I like to do things on one take. So as I open this up here, here's some more blast effects. We got the windows, the covers, and then we got the fuselage of it along with the tail, which means that the wings must be down here. And a lot of you guys are probably looking to see what I have underneath there. You gotta store stuff, right? You gotta store everything else that I have. All the different dials and weapons. So within here, we got our wings. The base, all that stuff. So we're going to go through all this. I'm going to get all this open, and then we'll start putting it together because really no one wants to see all that stuff. But I want to show you exactly what everything is like when you get it. All right, so let's just first start with the patches. So here's one patch. Again, it does look nice for what it is. It's got the nice trim around it. It's got the wings on the Cobra logo, along with some nice blue. They are not a Velcro. I know a lot of people were wondering. They're not Velcro, so you'd actually have to put these on properly. Here's your Fearsome Fangs, CFC, Zeo 6 Tank Smashers, and then you have a spider within a Cobra, it looks like Cobra Commander's helmet there, along with the big Cobra symbol right on top of it, attacking a tank, probably a Mauler or a Mobat. Mobat, did I say Mobat? Mobat. And then we have Cobra Airborne 64th Squadron, the Fly Swatters, and you can see the Fly Swatter right there. You can see the fly getting swatted, Cobra symbol. They all look really nice. Again, this is not what any of us wanted, okay? So I'm not going to try and like blow smoke up anyone's ass and be like, oh my God, these are so great. They're nice for what they are. All right, here's the sticker sheets. I'm just going to go through it. I'm not going to be using any of them. So quickly, we have Cobra, Wave if you're with Cobra. This would, I think, you put on one of the missiles or bombs. You got Rat-a-tat-tat. We got a Wild Weasel, Cobra Rattler. I feel like I need to go get a Mythic Legion. I actually have all this stuff to actually create this scene right here. So I got a pugil stick and everything, I believe. There's one of the bombs, a couple certified. There's your military armaments research syndicate, which is actually on the top of one of the boxes. We said I'd rather be flying. You got a Rattler right there. Bomb drop, Cobra Commander dropping it. There you have your Rattler, your Z, a bunch of bombs. Conquer, divide, how's my flying? A couple little crossbones right there. There's your airborne. pilot on board, the bus wars, a whole bunch of different things. All right, on this sticker sheet. Now this, if you really want to customize it, you can put a regular Cobra logo on it, use it for other things. You get the flying logo. There you have two different snakes, which look very similar, using my recollection, to what we saw in the Cobra movie, the big mothership. All right, and then here's some other pieces to make it look like what would be a warthog, because these things are considered, the nickname is the warthog, right? So there you go. There's your Cobra logos. Again, you might even want to use some of these on some of the original Rattlers if you ran out of. But a whole bunch of different things. You can do latch, unlatch. I have a feeling that when I look at this and I look at the original Rattler, you're going to see where, hey, if I wanted to make this look as close to an O-ring Rattler as possible, I can, all right? So the other thing that they're going to give you is these instruction sheets, which I'm going to suggest doing, okay? Because let's be honest, it's very important. So the first thing we're just going to quickly put together is the base, because it's going to be the easiest thing to do. So looking at it here, you can see there's the base. It has two pieces that are going to hold it up, and then you have two different tops, okay? One top is going to make it straight. The other one is going to make it bank up, down, side to side. And they said they wanted to do that, or they had to do that, because they felt this was just going to be way too heavy to do any other way, all right? So quickly, these two things are going to plug in like so, and then they just kind of, if I have it the right way, they only go one way. So it's going to go this way, all right? So it only goes one way. It pops down until we hear that click. All right, so you have to use a little bit of force there. Here's our little Lego. All right, that's where your plane is going to set. And these things just have some notches, it looks like. Yeah. So that is going to just plug directly into there. You can see the notches, kind of, they're clear. Those just plug in, so it should stay right where you want it to. All right. Okay, so this goes on top here. Make sure we don't break any of these latches, because these are not meant to come out. Okay. Once they're on, my guess is that's where they stay forever and ever and ever. Jeez, man. That one does not want to clip in there because I don't have the back piece on. Jeez. So you can see, you definitely have to use a little bit of force to get that on there. All right. So I think I'm going to mess with this off camera so you don't have to watch it. But you're able to put the Rattler on there. And then if you want to bank it, you're going to use this. There's two pieces here. They fit on like so. Or you can move it any direction that you want. But you can see, you can't see, these 4 pegs here. Jeez, this whole thing's coming off. Are the same here. So if you want it flying flat, you can pop it right there. Here's where you can put the extra missiles, or not extra missiles, but the missiles so they're dropping down. In here, you have a nice storage unit. Skeletron does something very similar in their stand. So anyway, that's the stand, how you put it together. Nice and easy for the most part, but I got to get that on, make sure I have it on the right way. So I'm going to get off camera because then I'm going to bring the Rattler stuff out and start with that. All right, quickly, even though this looks like it's the same, it's not. There was more room on one side than the other, so I had to flip it around. So make sure before you start trying to key it in there and pop it in there, you have it on the right way. There was a gap back here, and it was moved up too far. That's why I couldn't get it to stay on. So just be careful with that. Now when you pop this on here, you're able to pull that off without a problem. All right, let's see if we can do this. So I did leave all this stuff on here. These all have this cellophane on it. So just so you can see. These things were a pain. I don't know why I left them on. But the Hiss and the Dragonfly, the Vamp, Stinger, they all came with the cellophane over it, so you don't scratch the canopies and the clear plastic. They don't get scratched in transit. It is a nice little idea that they do. I know other companies have done the same thing or similar stuff. So needed to get all this off. I just kind of wanted to show you all this stuff was bagged individually, okay? So I have a bunch of bags in the box. All right. So there you go. That is how all of this comes off. We're going to throw this to the side. Now, I've already put the batteries in it. Okay, so I'm going to show you where the batteries go. All right, you're going to take three AA. Just one little screw, thing pops out. Listen, if you don't know how to put batteries in it, you're an idiot. You shouldn't have this, okay? All right, so there we go. We see the two wings. They look like they're just going to pop right on without a problem. We got the back of it. All right, and then we're going to have all the missiles, which I don't have yet. I haven't even pulled the missiles out. I wanted to start with this. This is going to be extremely, extremely large. So they did talk about, man, making sure you put some force into that. And man, that is, you can see that it's keyed right there. And you can see how the key is here. All right. And I know Lenny did talk about this. Just being very careful that when you do, you need to put some major force into this. And man, I don't even know. All right. So there you go. There is a little gap there. I know some other people have talked about it. I believe my partner Spec in his review, my partner on Circle of Jerks, he mentioned it. He had the first review. So, all right, so that one popped on a little bit easier, probably because I felt I knew how it was supposed to go on. All right. So we're going to put the tail on. Now, if this is anything like the Dragonfly, I'm going to assume once this is on, it doesn't come off. All right. Now, that one literally just snapped on nice and easy. Now, I know people have found a way to get the Dragonflies off. If you have, then on you. I will not do that. It's on there. It gets transported. It gets boxed up if I ever move that way. All right. So, keyed right here. Oh my gosh, this thing is so big. You can see the way this thing sits. I know, that's what she said. So that's going to pop in like so. Dude, this thing is super hard to do. And I'm trying to show you guys. And again, if you're here, thank you. Please take a second and hit that like button. It definitely will help out. So that's in there nicely. And the wings should pop in. Probably the easiest thing so far. So the wings are in. And then the next thing that we have, we look up here, is we have the gun canopy. This is going to pop on up here. Now I'm not going to put that on yet because I want to show you the bottom really quickly. All right. I'm going to take this off camera. All right. Now I've kind of lit it up. So you have your release. That is how those open up. Now this is the release here. So we can bend. That's how the wings are supposed to go. This thing just turns. All right. I think, okay, so Lenny said like, hey, you need to press a button, I believe. I believe he was confused with this. So this, you press the button in, it extends, and then it folds over. So you can see the release right there. This goes in here. You don't pull this without it. You kind of have to grab that and pull that out and flip it down. All right. And then that goes right back there. So that's the way you can create some space with this. Now, the big question is, first off, and I'm way off camera. You're like, oh, I can't see anything. I know, I'm an idiot. All right. So, holy crap. So first thing we're going to do is find our release. Where's our release at? I'm going to release it and fold it in so we can kind of do it like this, right? Thank you guys. That actually helps out a lot. So this thing is going to pop. You know what? We're going to show the interior before I put everything on and then have to pop it off, all right? So quickly, let's get into the interior. All right, so here are your lights. All right, you can see how it's lit up. And you can see all the detail within there. All right, you can see that this thing is leveled. Buttons right there. And this one doesn't turn off. It turns off on its own. The hiss, you can kind of scroll through it, and same with the Dragonfly, I believe. So there you go. There's your control stick, or your control stick is right up underneath here. This is one part of the seatbelt, which we all hate. You can see the design on the seatbelt right there. This is an ejector, so if they need to eject. But so much detail put in right there. Now we get up to the cockpit, and again the same thing. All right, and I'm trying to look at that and see what it actually is. I'm not sure, but it looks like we got a handle here. All right, so this actually does move back and forth. Over on this side, we got another joystick. Here is our our seatbelt. You got light up right here on the side, so you can see what missiles you're using. And if I can find them, the hell, where'd it go? Oh, there's the stuff on that side. And again, you have an ejector handle right there. You got some nice cushioned seats. So all in all, I know this is kind of wobbly and everything, but man, these things are really hard to get into and just kind of show you all of that. So there you go. That's kind of like, that's the lighting of it right there. Let's get this thing together and look at everything. All right, so back to it here. This is where this thing is just going to pop on. Maybe, maybe not. All right, so that just sits right on it like that. On the front, all right. This is the back canopy, which looks like it just kind of snaps in. So this does lift up. And it is on a ratcheting system, so you can see it ratchet up and down. Now this piece here is specifically made to come off, all right? They talked about it. They said, you know, for us to have it on there and get a figure in and out, it made it way more difficult. So they said, let's just get rid of that. Just make this thing kind of pop off. But you can still have it flying. You can have him look like he's getting out of the plane because you just don't want to deal with that. And I fully understand that. So, all right. Let's get into, let's get to the missiles and get some of these missiles done. And then we can get it armed up and then go over all the little features. All right, the arsenal, the bombs, the armory. So quickly, we'll take a look at the blast effects. So here's the big blast effects that we've seen before. Now, these are the same design as the Dragonflies. The difference with the Dragonflies is it has this rail system, which is cut in, so you can put that on it for the rail system, right? So that is one of those things I know a lot of people, I'm sure were wondering, but the design is the exact same. Color is a little bit different. This one actually looks more translucent. I think this one actually looks better due to the translucent right through it. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. You just got the blast or the trail right there. You can see where the fire's coming out. Same with that one. Do they fit? They do fit because they are meant to work together in many, many, many ways. All right. So we're gonna move this over here for right now. Here is the same blast effects that we also got. I have these actually on my HMS, my heat missile system. This is what they should give you. This is what they should give you with the MMS and the HMS or whatever they are. All right. design is nice. Okay, you can see how it looks. More translucent right there. Take this missile. It will plug into it, so you can make it look like it's flying. It also, I believe, can be used for the jet exhaust or the jet blast that you're getting. Here is the gun missiles, or for the smaller missiles that you could be using. Doesn't go in there. I don't think they actually go on. This actually goes on. Oh yeah, this goes on the different guns. These things actually plug into the hiss. So if you have the Haslab hiss, you can actually use this here for the guns. That's actually what I've been using it for from the Dragonfly. Nice orange cloud of smoke. You have the translucent, so it's making it just a big blast right there. All right, so here we have this rail system. All right, so it looks like we have a bunch of these, so we can plop each and every single one of them onto it. All right, and this is going to plug onto the undercarriage. Now, if you were wondering, yes, when it plugs in, if you actually wanted to, you can plug the Dragonfly, I think it's a sidewinder, into it, all right? But again, I don't know why you want to. You want your Dragonfly to have your own stuff. But look at all the other stuff that we have. Here we have is the 3 system bombs. Now, this was the original Rattler, right? So the original Rattler had this same type of system, all right? And now this is going to plug in on the bottom also. So all of this is going to fit all the slots that were on the bottom of the wings, and we're going to get to that in a minute. All right. Oh, and then we have, I guess I missed these laser blast effects. These ones are new. Okay, this is not one that I don't believe that came with the Dragonfly. So if you are looking, this is something completely new. I think this would also fit into the hiss. Looking at that, because that does not fit a regular size. All right, so we have 2 of these. All right, so this is where your blast is going to be, or your missiles. All right, so we got 7 missiles right there, or 6 missiles that can fire out. What? 7. I need to count better. All right. This is the bomb arraignment that plugs in it to here. That is Roman. If you guys don't know who Roman is, it means you're new to the channel. So all of those are going to plug directly into there, like so. All right. We have this big missile, which I think you gotta absolutely love. Nice red tip here. Got the red rocket. That's gonna be the new name of this one. But all in all, nice and decent. It's got one set right here, so that's how you're gonna plug that thing in there. All right. And once again, I think I already showed you how that sets. We have these two big bombs, and they're different colored. All right. So we have one, which is a warthog. All right. Saying best regards. You can see the design on it. That looks cool. All right. Nothing here. This is just going to drop straight down and cause all kinds of damage. And then on this one here, we got the atomic bomb explosion out of a skull with some X's. Really kind of feels like it's a mix of like maybe the Joker with the smile right there, and who knows what else. All right, and then we have this big boy, another rocket. Now this one's weird because it has two different attachments. I don't see why it has 2 different attachments. These do come off, but there's no reason for that as far as I'm concerned. I guess unless you were just kind of dropping that. This is the actual rocket of it. But that's kind of interesting. As we go along, we'll see if it serves a purpose. Now this is in the original one too. It has the original Rattler has a soft missile at the top with this hard plastic on the back. All right, this is an electro-optical target seeking. So I didn't see that, obviously. All right. And then we got the shaker. Now Lenny did talk about these. They do shake. Once it hits, that's where it's going to explode. Obviously, there's no port for blast effects. This is just meant to drop straight down. So when it's attacking the USS flag, that's what it can do. And looking at it here, Cobra Command Cluster, and then it tells you, I'm assuming, what is 1984. So that's going back to the year of the actual Rattler. So Cobra Command Cluster 001984, going back to the original Rattler release. That one doesn't have anything on it. Now I'm wondering if they all have. Oh yeah, there we go. Heat Seeking 1984. So they're definitely going to lean into that. And this one doesn't give you that. These bombs here. Unguided CCF. So these ones are just ones that you just drop from a high altitude and hope it hits the target. Or if you're just trying to mass chaos and create all kinds of damage to the G.I. Joe pit, the headquarters, again, the USS flag. I can go on and on and on. The tactical battle platform. Here I'm just kind of popping these on. All right. So we have our ladder that's going to plug into it. I like the nice yellow across it. Little arrows telling you which way it's supposed to set. All right. Nice little hooks. We can use it for all kinds of things. And then here is the battle damage on the side. Now, if you don't know, this is a major callback to the original Rattler, as it had 2 battle damage pieces. Behind this, it is going to glow. We will pop that thing on and we'll take a look at it. I did not bring up the actual battle damage, but it is in my Rattler review, my classic review. But you can see the design on it, and I think this is actually pretty cool. A lot of people that I've already heard say they absolutely love this. So, all right. Now, let's get the Rattler back here. We're going to throw everything on it. We're going to arm it up, and then we're going to go through the detail. And then we'll figure out where we're going to go after that. All right, let's do this the best that we can. And starting off with the big gun in the front here. You can see that it's already worn. All right, and it does have ports for blast effects. Okay. Now, I think one of the cool things is it not only does it spin, but right here, if you spin it here, it gives you that sound of an A-10's Gatling gun going off. And if you ever heard it, that's kind of what it sounds like, because they can't do it at a very large rate because it'll actually push the the plane back. So, looking at all of this, you can see all the designs and the nice little rivets. This is a titanium cockpit when real life. All right. Even when you look at this here, you can see the rivets all through it. All right. So they didn't really waste anything there. You got the nice nose. As we come across here, we have the air pad lift. Not really sure what that is. This looks like it comes off, but I don't believe that it does. Here we have your unlatch. All right. I'm trying to move this and feel like something is obstructing it. What was this? All right. So right here, we flip it down. Try and get the best look that I can there. And as you can see there, that is your Gatling gun. There is your your titanium, I believe they're titanium round bullets. All right, so you can see all the design in there. Again, they didn't leave a lot to be left to the imagination, which is good for when you're spending this much and they spent this much time designing it. All right, here is the one air intake. These things do spin. So again, playability, even though a lot of people think, hey, why would I want to play with these toys? Well, because that's what they are. They're toys. They're meant to take pictures with. All right. So right there it says pull handle to jettison canopy. All right. So this way, I guess that's what you pull in case you needed to get out. Maybe it crashes, different things like that. When we get up to the gun right here, I'm doing my best, guys, so please bear with me. All right, so I do like the way they did the canopy here. All right, This thing is going to open up. I like the design of it. It gives me that the 1942, with the B-52 bomber look. That's what it reminds me of. The guns, on the other hand, do not. Matter of fact, these guns kind of remind me of this transformer that I had. So it only shoots up that far. Now, once again, it looks like a huge issue that it could shoot right through Wild Weasel, or whoever the pilot is. It was always a huge issue of mine, even as a kid. All right, but we got the port for blast effects. There is your, I'm assuming this is your radar, so you can see where it's coming. So, nice design right there. I can only do so much. All right. And again, I don't like to do edits. I like to show you guys exactly what this is going to be like. So here's your no step, just like before, the Z06. All right, now, this thing does just turn. All right. So it just turns like this. This is your VTOL. This is how it's going to go up. You don't need to press any button. It is on a ratchet system, so it ratchets right there and stays, and then it goes right there, okay? You do not need to hit anything to hold that up, to get it going, all right? On the bottom, here are your missiles, okay? Or your bombs and your missiles. So these are your 2 missiles, multiple bombs, and then on the bottom here, I see right there on the bottom, that's for the cluster. Now, that can be popped off. Well, that would have to be popped off when you're using the stand, all right? So, if you're using the stand, you have to remove those. I mean, you can remove whichever ones you want. But all in all, the detail in here is extremely nice. All right? Here's your engine, just like the original. All right, as we get up to it. And again, I make these videos long. I know that. I appreciate every single one of you that stays with me. So throughout here, you can see the design of it. Got some, looks like some electronics here. Here's where the turbine, I think is what it's called, going to be spinning. You have your nice design here. Got some wiring going through it. There's your exhaust. Now, I don't know if you really want it blasting up against your tail wings, but hey, this is a toy. Remember that. All right, and here we look at the inside of it. As we get to the back of the plane, this one also is going to spin. So there's no reason to make this spin other than, hey, it spins, it's playable. If you have a kid, if you actually bought this for your kid, it's something that he can do, and it's something that we would have all done once again. Again, there's the button to turn the lights on. Might as well have the lights on as much as possible. All right, so we get down to the bottom, the back here. It's time to remove this here. We got no step. There's your Cobra, and on the back, here's where the jet is. Now, I wish they would have done something there. Even though someone may put the exhaust in it, I wish they would have kind of made that look like it's all kind of worn. Minor gripe there. Same with on this one, okay? But when you look here, you can see all the rivets in here. Jet fuel only, so don't put any diesel in it. Don't be putting any 93 octane. And then on the bottom, you can see exactly how that sets. All right, let's flip the plane around. Look at the other side. All right, so back of the plane again. Now, if you remember in the original, again, this was one of the plates that could come off. I don't see it on here, so we're not going to have to worry about that. And again, it's the exact same on both sides. Here is the cluster of how it sits on the wings. All right, you got the three bombs here. One bigger bomb, the giant bomb. There's your, I believe this is a sidewinder, but I thought that was a sidewinder too. I don't fully remember. All right. So as we move along here, this is what I was talking about, all right? So this is the other piece. This comes off, all right? And now when we light it up, I wonder if this has to be on. Did I miss something? Well, that's definitely not lighting up now, is it? What am I missing, guys? Because that's supposed to be there, I believe. So, What the hell am I missing? But this goes on here, and then this is supposed to light up. Yet for some odd reason, I don't see any lighting up. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. So there you have your damaging. Then you can see that it's been hit. You got electronics. That is actually really cool. Again, that is something that a lot of people, no one really knew about. You can see the way that the front even lights up right here. All right, so when this thing's coming in hot, there you go. I love the lights. I know a lot of people, they complain about them. Like, I really didn't need anything like this. I think it's awesome. All right. Here we have the ladder, which is going to come out. And he's going to be able to climb up. And actually, they even put a peg on here. So once it drops down, you can climb up onto it. All right. So I'm going to have to look and figure out exactly where this ladder hooks to. I believe this is for the gunner. So I'm not sure exactly how this is supposed to go to the piece on the back or what. But you obviously don't step up there. But you can see all the nice rivets throughout it here. All right, I know I showed you guys. And I'm doing my best. I apologize. This is crazy how big this thing is. Whoever designed this did not say, how will reviewers look at it? And that's probably a good thing. All right. So on to the bottom. Oh shit, I can't even get it. All right. Let's move that out right there. I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to have to probably, well, I can see exactly where it's at, right? Oh my God. So, this flips up. All right, now all we're going to do is you're going to close this by itself. All right, so each of these close independently of each other. Now, actually, those two close together. And then you have your release. And then it just opens up like that. And you can see it's strong enough to hold up without a problem. Literally putting the weight on it. But on the bottom, you can see the Cobra symbol there. You can see the long range. I mean, they really did a great job of making that gun fit. And then you have those sitting right there. So there's your release. That's to pull this out. These, once again, all they do is they just turn. All right? So you don't need to worry about anything like that. And the wings will flop all the way down. So let's open the gear. Let's set this down. And now we're going to put the figure in. And oh my gosh, as you know, all of us hate these seat belts. All right, so here you go. There's your wild weasel. To get him in the cockpit, I will say this. The way they set this up is a little bit better. The middle piece doesn't seem to be floating as much. And I obviously don't have his helmet and everything on him. But we're going to try and get him in here as smoothly as possible. Wow. Might even have to pop the head off. No, I guess. This is a tight fit. So this is a tight fit right here. Wow. I don't even know. He's on the ground there. That is a really, really tight fit. Now again, maybe not doing it on camera. It might be a little bit easier. Oh wait, that's right. They said take this off. Stupid me. So there we go with that. I wouldn't say it's still easy. I mean, it's still, that is a tight fit for the pilot. All right. Obviously, the Baroness will fit a little bit easier. Does this come out? Well, you know, it will fit. Now, I will say this, without that there, it is way easier. But you know how these things snap. They're a pain. This is why I said, maybe going forward, put this in the front so you can just kind of hang it over like that. then it will look better. All right, I'm going to hit this again. Now when you do hit this, you see the lights right there? Every time you hit it, it changes the color. It goes for 2 minutes. All right, then you can see the battle damage going. All right, ooh, look at this. And even in the cockpit, it's showing you that there's damage. Whew! Oh my God, this thing is crazy. This is going to be like the longest review I've ever done. And maybe the worst. Alright, so we're going to pop this thing back on here. And thank you guys all for sticking around. I'm going to have a pain putting this together. As for the rear gunner. Alright, I'll take that right there. Open that bad boy up. Do I have a Cobra Trooper somewhere around here? I don't know if I have any Cobra Troopers. You know, you think I'd have at least 1 or 2. I don't want to put Zanzibar in there. You know who we got? This guy, Dr. Mindslaughter, right? And he does have the gun right there. We're going to take that gun out. And how easily will he fit in there? So just slide that in there. Again, good luck. We can pop this off, I believe. I don't really want to. Even if you pop this off, this is still in the way. So, I don't like the seat belts. I understand the aesthetics of it, but they just don't work. End of story. So, there you go with that. That's how everything fits on this. But now we got to quickly look at some of the missiles and the blast effects and see how they fit. All right. So, blast effects. The big ones. They can plug into the back here. And as you can see, they are able to be supported. They can also pop off here. All right. And then you can make them firing. If you can actually see it. Like so. So here you are. You're able to make it fire, which again is awesome. That's really what you want, right? I mean, you gotta love stuff like this. As for the back pieces, we can plug those in. All right, they fit in nicely there, which also means this big one technically does fit. But if you ask me, I think that means this thing is going to smash right into that. Though we can plug it into the back. All I'm doing is making more and more of a mess. So you can plug the big one into the back here. That's what she said. All right, which looks pretty cool, but let's be honest, that ain't gonna work all that well. All right, I can't see myself using those for that. I think I'm gonna be using this as it's a fighter. All right, let's take this off here. Man, oh man, so much stuff here. So hard to go through all of this. And again, thank you guys all for bearing with me. So, these are little laser cannons. All right. And this, I would assume, we're just going to pop those into there. They probably look the best with this. All right. So there you have 2 laser cannons. Again, this is Cobra. It's experimental. That's what you're supposed to get from there. All right, so, and then we get right up to the front here, and then we have this thing, and we want this to plug into the front because that's the one that's going to be doing the majority of the damage. Now, it's not supposed to spin like that, but I love the sound. That is just awesome. All right, so there is all of that. I still haven't figured out where the ladder goes, so give me a second. You're not going to even know if I'm gone. All right, the ladder goes right there. And it just kind of pops right into place. There's 2 different notches because I'm assuming on each, I can see on each wing, it sits right there. You're going to want it over here so it doesn't interfere with this rock or this missile right there. All right. So now I'm going to compare the two really quickly as best that I can. All right. So here is the other Rattler. You can see it is twice the size. All right. So just imagine the Sky Striker, how big the Sky Striker would be. So what you're going to have here is you don't have wings that go up. They still do turn right there, again, at the same spot. All right. I can only turn it so much here. We have the same cluster right there. All right. This one came with 2 of these missiles, or a similar style. You have this cluster bomb, which they put over here. Maybe I have them out of order. I don't know. Maybe these are all out of order. Then we have this missile here, which I talked about. All right, it's soft. All right, and that's why they gave you the sticker. So if you want to make it the original, once again, there's the battle damage. That's the battle damage that goes right there. I don't have it. The canopies look the same. You do have the big Gatling gun right there. The canopy on the top, if you look, it still has the cross stitching. They did something very similar to that there. You have the same type of engine. This thing pops off rather than flipping over. That's how it sets. I will never close these wheels. The landing gear, that's how it stays. Because if you have one that's unbroken, you don't chance it. The missiles just fell off. One's on the floor. All right. And has the cover, just like the landing gear right here, which I realized I forgot to kind of go over as I was going through everything. Jeez, this thing is it's a beast. I mean, there's no other way to put it. This thing is just so amazingly big, and I'm just knocking things over. So you have the cover right here on the wheels. Yep. On the wheel right there, you have Cobra, VTOL, Cobra, VTOL. It's the same on all of them. And yes, I knocked my light over. One of my lights. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do other than show you how it actually is going to sit up on the display. This is the craziest review I've ever done. I can't believe how big this thing really is. All right. So, what we need to do here is you're going to need to remove these things here. And that wing's going to fall. So these do come off easily. Pop that thing up there. Now again, that sits there and it feels sturdy enough. Like, it's not going to fall. We can drop the bombs here. Drop the bombs. Drop one of the missiles here. And make it look like it is firing. Because that's how missiles do come. Now again, I guess you want the landing gear up if you're doing that. But this is crazy. Like, I know I've said it like 100 times now, but wow. This is a lot of, man, this is a lot. But I don't know what else there is to say. That's the Cobra Rattler. The Haslab Rattler that we've been waiting for. I did my best. I'm sure others did better. But I try and show you as much detail as possible. And I know I missed some. There's no doubt about it. But I did my best. Tried to show you a comparison to this bad boy. Again, it has the same tail wings. Where they're kind of on an angle. Same jets here. Same way this is going to rotate up. Even the missiles are almost the same. Very similar, I guess. But even all the detail within here, it looks really, really good. So anyway, that is your Cobra Rattler Haslab review. All right, so that is your Haslab Rattler review. God bless anyone that stayed this long. I try and give you detail. I know I fumble around. I do that type of stuff. Hold on one second. I want to hit this again because I think next time I hit it, we see a little bit of a battle damage right there. That is cool, man. I know people say, I don't care about lights. Dude, that's on you. I like doing photography even if I'm not very good at it. But yeah, this thing is a beast. I mean, I can see why it's $325 or what it was when it came out. And that's not even including the figures. This thing's just so much to do, so much to get into, and I've enjoyed doing this. I have a disaster behind me. I still have 2 figures to review. Technically, you're probably going to say, hey, I haven't seen any figures. What do you mean 2? Well, I've actually already done one because I had to have Wild Weezer out because they had to be in the cockpit, right? So I got to wrap it up. You spent probably an hour. I have no idea how long this is. But anyway, you probably spent an hour with me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you have this, awesome. Tell me about it. I love to hear what you think of it because this thing is something crazy. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Please take a second. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Haslab, a classified, G.I. Joe, anything like that. But I'm going to get out of here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you another classified review right here. And down here is going to be a playlist of all the classified stuff that I've done. Take care.